Hey guys, May here, and in this little video I'd like to talk for a moment about your manuscript, and this falls under the category of the login to the analog series that I like to offer to you, kind of starting to do on a more regular basis now is my intention or objective coming up. And here's the thing, the manuscript, right? Okay, so pen to paper, logging into the analog is a concept that I often bring to you in an effort to encourage your activation of the higher mind, your activation through ways of analog activity, whether it be pen to paper, drawing, writing, sketching, painting, even gardening to some degree, anything woodworking, especially for the guys, anything outdoors. However, I do truly believe, and this is from personal experience, because I'm only going to tell you things that are based on actual, real personal experience. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that creating pen to paper writing, automatic writing, if you will, is a type of channeling. And if there's any way, any way at all I can help you with that, encourage you, incite some spark of curiosity to just give it a shot, give it a try, and this is my intention. I would like to do that here. And in this video, I have been writing with and playing with different ways to help illustrate my point to you, and in my own personal experience, writing things out in notebooks is just common, is just every day, many times a day. And at this point I can't function without pen to paper writing. I can't do all digital. That to me is such a cell-based experience, sell the soul type experience, SELLCELL, and it's very, like, where does it go? It kind of vanishes into nowhere, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's not tangible. And there's something that is amazing when we create something tangible. If it's not a drawing, a painting, or writing out in a memoir or journal, there's just something you will never, ever in a million years receive or feel in the digital sense like you will in the analog sense. And that requires us in the presence to return to the past. And that is exactly the theory that I promote, is logging into the analog. I've never heard that anywhere else. I'm sure, though, someone on the internet will steal it, but don't forget where you heard it. That's the problem with the internet, though. I'm just side note here is that there's a lot of theft. I hear this all the time. I see this, and there's a lot of theft and a lot of copyright stealing, and so much of what comes to me is late at night or upon waking, and it's so original, and so much of it I've never seen digitally, although I'm not always, scaling the digital sources, the rabbit holes. Those days are long over. However, I will say this, I know so much of it is original, and this does concern me as I realize that I'm entering it into an untrustworthy system. But fortunately, YouTube has me heavily restricted, except for my large audience I've amassed in northern Pakistan. So, which I believe a lot of them are here just to help learn language or English. So we must appreciate their presence, as odd as it is. So anyway, having said that, let me continue now on this stream, if you will, stream of consciousness-based Thoth that I'm working with. This is logging into the analog. This is the manuscript. So what I've been doing and what I recommend to you is a different format altogether than what you're used to. You're like, oh, drudge out the notebook, go to the nearest Barnes and Nobles and buy a journal, and then it's gotta find a pen, and lately you can't find a pen unless you're in a museum, and if you find one, it's out of ink and no one uses them anymore. That's what makes you super cool, by the way. That's what makes you special, is if you have a pen and paper. Guess what? Guess what? That means that you do not subscribe. You do not subscribe to the current state of trends, if you will, right? So you march to a different drum. You are a pioneer and revolutionary, and you are guided by your own thoughts, right? You don't need to enter all of your what's personal, sentimental, intimate, intricate, deepest thoughts and stories into the digital internet, right? Into the internet. You don't you This is what I'm telling you, is that you, just like myself, I know I can encourage it in you. You have the same ability to take out a pen and paper and start writing. And this is the format that I want to explain to you. Is the manuscript is a type of format in which you could write out um, even future events, things coming up, rather than like the typical to-do list, which a lot of people have a hard time with. Let's be honest. And they sell those um, those calendar type journals for with daily tasks, right, and to-dos, and nobody, come on, it's kind of ridiculous. Nobody's gonna. I mean, hey, if you do, that's fantastic. That's good. That's wonderful. But I'm talking about much more than a to-do, much more intimate in your own personal soul-based experience, and writing it out as you would a script. And future events, let's say something is going on in your life, and there always is, right? There's always some sort of struggle in this, or obstacle in this file-based experience. And let's say you've got something that you're really apprehensive about. You want to approach a friend or a family member or a colleague, and they're rubbing you the wrong way. Well, what if you wrote it out like a script? And this is what I'm getting at. This really works. I'm really giving you this is great knowledge, okay? And please don't waste my time and just blow it off. Just give this some thought, seriously, okay? I come to you from experience. So you take the pen and the paper, and in the format, it's your manuscript. Now, you can title it however you want. But what's great is if you've got scenarios coming up, as I said, with the colleague, with the friend that is sort of confrontational, that you're apprehensive, you're not looking forward to, and you need a place to put it down and to work out these thoughts before actually entering the scene, right? Like in a manuscript, the scenario, right? What are we surrounded by, okay? In this single eye AI based quantum field etheric experience, what are we surrounded by? How ironic that you're surrounded by scenery. What is in a manuscript, or then goes to the stage of the theater, in which is the earth, right? It's scenes. Scene one, scene two, act one, act two. So here's what I propose to you. This is what I propose, is when you write down, pen to paper, events coming up, which let's even go so far as say you dread. Oh, this neighbor. They tread. That neighbor always is treading, right? We can all relate to that on some level. So, you've got a barbecue coming up. really want to, you must uphold the charade of the Ottomans and the NPCs. Maybe some conversations that you might want to start up, right? Initiate, if you will. So it's a great format as a manuscript if you're writing down like it's really something meaningful, not just a journal, not just a diary, not just a memoir. This is the problem that we can fall into when we start writing then just scribbling notes, like just a few words here at a time, here and there, a few thoughts. No, write it out like it's the most valuable, because it is, and you are the most valuable thing ever written. The most valuable, precious. Just write it out. Situations coming up, holidays, July 4th. What are my plans? Summer. I would really love to try water skiing this summer. I will take my friend and do you know what I'm saying? And in a format that is kind of fun and exciting. One of the difficulties we are presented with in this current more digital based experience is the fact that there's not the kind of fun that we used to have in the more analog world. And this is what causes great sentimentality, if you will, and nostalgia, and we yearn for that. But because the lower dimensional forces are in opposition, okay, and not in a negative, detrimental, oh my God, terrible way. No, 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 no. They just want to have their type of more digital experience, but you must bypass and override that. You are so much more powerful. When we activate that higher mind, when we activate and receive our cosmic downloads, which we are courted by, and when we activate that electricity of the pineal by way of the pituitary, and that is master and servant, by the way. We need the pineal to rise above the pituitary. This is sun and moon based consciousness. These are two sides of the brain, and pituitary has a lot to do with the lower dimensional aspects of the mind. Every part of you that is on top of you is also on the bottom, from the head to the toe. It is the same, and it's just there is an opposition, okay, if you will, and that's all it is. And it's nothing to be fearful about, or to hate, or no need for anger or dismay. So here's what I'm getting at is, no matter what is pulling you back from visiting the analog and stepping away from the digital, pen to paper style, whatever's pulling you back, override it. Override the system. It's a file-based system. It's a computer-based system. And do you know how powerful it is when you go against the grain? When you go against the grain, right, of what we're conditioned? Because all it is lower dimensional forces conditioning you, showing you things that are actually showing you elements of this reality that are actually, and that's all they are, is elements of the mind. They're persuading you, right? Right? Distracting, persuading you. However, you are so much more powerful, and that is what I want to get at. I don't think I could manage well in this experience, in this plane of existence experience. I don't think I could without art, without notebooks, without pens, without pencils, without creativity, without designing. It's not an option. It's not an option for me, and I would like to incite and encourage that in you, that I know is there. So with the sun moving more and more at his highest and happiest point, this is the rebirth. This is the resurrection. It's the resurrection of the mind. It's the resurrection of Amun Ra, which lies inside of your skull. Okay? It's always the microcosm to the macrocosm. So When you engage Amon Ra, release him. You want to rock and roll, move the stone, roll away the stone, activate the pineal, which activates the higher mind, the higher levels of consciousness. The higher you go, the lower they go. Okay? That's how you dismiss those unwanted thoughts, right? Okay? Laugh in their face. Remember the song, if you know Led Zeppelin, do you remember Laughter? You rise high, and you need to do that. You can only do that. You can only experience this through creativity. And this is the time. This is the time for you, as the sun is your higher mind, your higher consciousness, and it is rising, rising, rising as we move into Gemini and into Cancer and into his happiest spot. Not that I'm tooting my horn because I am a Leo, but into his happiest spot in the heart of the lion. So we are rising right now. This is what you must hold on to. Okay? Grasp it hard. And we're in a Cazimi, and I just created a short which I was slightly initially resistant to creating shorts, but I'm going to start to create more of those, as I think that they can still be beneficial. I just need to learn to speak faster. So anyway, I will conclude this in a moment, but I'm here for you. I am always on your side. I am always, always on your side as I deliver to you my cosmic messages, in which I entrust implicitly and explicitly. And I'm coming to you from actual hands-on experience. And as I learn how to work things on my channel more, I can illustrate this better for you soon, in the coming weeks and months. I can illustrate as far as videos and in a format that you can better understand. And this will include logging into the analog, which is the subject of the manuscript. The manuscript is the man-you-script. Got it? Got it? And your scenes, okay? Your scenes are the scenery, scenarios. You know, it's very cathartic to write out these events you have that, like, as I said, you could be apprehensive or excited about. Maybe a wedding coming up that's exciting. What role will you play? What dress will you wear? Or what suit will you wear? And how handsome or stunning will you look when you enter that sphere, right? Because it's all a stage. It's all a theater. Okay? And we don't have to settle for negativity and downtrodden, just sort of melancholy videos or books or writings or readings, or, you know, that bring us to the lower level. We can rise above this. And that is what I am here for. Because you know what? We're here. We're here right now. So we must live in this plane of experience, and that's all it is. It's just an experience. It's just a sophisticated delta wave dream state, etheric morphogenic field based experience, which we must learn to activate the higher consciousness to elevate our experience. You know, you can't have the high without the low. And it took me a while to come to terms with this prophecy. But there's no greater truth than that. If you didn't know the lows, you couldn't feel the highs. And we can take that yearning we have for nostalgia, that yearning we have for the analog, we can take that and harness that power, and in a united effort. As on this channel, I engage with everyone. No one will be ignored like on other channels. If I do miss something, it's only because I miss it and I didn't see it, because YouTube isn't always my friend. So however, we know that we're not alone in this. I am on your side, and there are others who are just like you, who have that inner yearning, that desire to create and to explore, and still find, are searching and hoping to find elements of beauty in this file-based experience. Now, astrology is another way that you can write out your manuscript. You know, maybe you want to discuss how you have a certain planet in a certain aspect, you know, and you know, you might say, well, Saturn is in my sun house, and just write. I'm just giving you ideas. I'm just giving you examples, you know, and I'm just encouraging you because it's a great time to do it right now. With while we match the rise, the A rise of the sun, and we've got Saturn in there and Neptune. Neptune is dreams, and we can harness this power and embrace it. And I said I would conclude like 5 minutes ago. Okay, I'll stop here. I'll stop here. But I love to see your thoughts. I love to see your comments. And happy Thor's Day, by the way. That's a hammer of the gods. That's Thor up there. And Thor is part of you. Thor is absolutely part of you and is all about goodness, and is just waiting for you to activate. You know, to activate those cosmic downloads, though, you've got to embrace the analog and creativity. You must engage in this, and you will be shocked at how high you can go and how elevated your experience can actually be. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Love to see your comments. More in the next one.